Ass titties. Hello, Trick Theorists. Welcome back to Talkin' Tricks. And today we are joined by a very special guest, Malik. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello.
Yeah. Good to have you on. Honestly, it's funny because we were gonna have you on this podcast anyway. Like, you were a long planned guest, and we've even talked at different gatherings about having you on. And then you landed Muggleslayer, and we were gonna talk to whoever landed Muggleslayer first.
So this is kind of like two birds in one stone.
Yeah.
But we do have other things that we want to talk to you about, like more than just the Muggleslayer too. So we may have to have you on as like a repeat guest. We'll see.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
So like honestly, the way this episode is gonna be is like, yeah, we're gonna talk about Muggleslayer, but I also have some other topics I want to hit on. They're kind of random, so it's kind of going to be all over the place, but that's fine. We're just gonna have a talk, basically, and then whatever we can't hit on today, we're gonna hit on another podcast episode.
I'm down. I'm so down.
But yeah, dude. So Malik, you are the first person in the world to land Muggleslayer, the 8th swing.
Yeah.
8th swing.
Yeah, and you actually truly, it's cool because you really do like just understand like this shit at like the level that we were talking about it, if not like at a deeper level.
It's not hard. Like, I mean, if you understand and like to listen to what y'all say, it is like a whole theory and curriculum y'all are making. It's not on paper. That's all. But if you understand it and listen to it, it's easy to understand. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just cool to see a trick that we theorized in the ether, like, you know what I mean, without doing any like practical, actual, real world work. We just like were theorizing about it and then seeing it come to light. Because I know a big concern for me was like, what if the Muggleslayer just looks like shit? What if, like we theorized this trick, it's just a false positive. It just looks like shit. You made it look really good.
It feels like shit when I do it, but I mean, I'm glad it looks good.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you were putting it in combos, doing it into and out of. I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty impressive. And Frank's right. Like, we did, like, you know, we came up with this trick, and like, you know, without having any sort of visual representation. So to finally have, like, you know, see it in the real world is really incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess my first question to you is like, what's your thoughts on Muggleslayer? So like, when you heard us first talking about it, what was your initial thoughts? And then like, what do you think about the trick right now? Do you think there's potential in it? Do you see anything happening with it in the future?
So with Muggleslayer, I was listening to the podcast. I forget which one it is, but I was listening to the podcast where I'm talking about the trick itself, and yeah, we're making it seem like it's like a simple twist or like a single twist or whatever. So I'm like, okay, it's a single twist, not even thinking hard. It's like a swing through. I'm pretty good at swings, so like, what are they talking about? And I just wanted to make what y'all were talking about happen because I couldn't visually picture what it was. And I'm like, well, if it's just a single, I should be able to land it pretty soon because I don't know, singles aren't that hard, but it's just I feel like the understanding the breakdown of it is what was the hard part to actually understand how. Because I the move like when I did it, it looks like how it makes sense in my head, but just still feels wrong. But
right.
I don't know. Like, it does not feel like it looks at all. I'll tell you that much.
I was gonna say, like, how do you formulate it in your head? Because I've heard some people, like, obviously we call it the crock of rap, but then I've heard other people say coin drop in, back out.
Oh yeah, so there's a few ways you can look at it. It's like kind of like the coin drop in, back out, you said, or like a opposite swing lotus. So like instead of like the lotus swings in front of you, the leg would be behind you, but then it's just a lotus, a slight inversion, and then or like the way I initially thought of it to like land it was how you do a side flip and then you go quarter turn, so side flip quarter turn or like D-leg quarter turn, whatever. Just do that from a swing, a back swing.
Yeah,
it's like the same amount of twists. I was trying to figure out how many times it's twisting opposed to actually figuring out the move. I'm like, how many times is it doing a half? Is it doing a 3/4 or a full or 1/4? It's doing a 1/4, but like the flip helps with a lot of that other twist, whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's a quarter twist, and I think technically, like, if you were to label it a 1 twist or a 2 twist, it'd be a 0 twist.
Yeah, and after I figured out there's not really that much of a twist at all, then I was like, okay, well, it's easy then. It's just a swing side flip or swing whatever, but it feels wrong to set into.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it definitely is weird. I agree though. It definitely is. When I thought about it, I was like, it's kind of like a wrap, it's like a dark side wrap set up into like a D leg,
Exactly.
like a traditional like front side D leg.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
like.
I like that you compared it to Lotus too, because that's kind of like Frank and I will agree that that's like the landing stance that you need to be in to swing into Lotus effectively is the same one that you need to be in to do Muggleslayer.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of people thought we were just referring to like Mega as opposed to this almost complete landing stance.
Yeah, and no, y'all were talking about like the short complete, and that's the thing too. I literally just listened to the landing stances podcast on the way back from Euphoria. Because when I first was listening to y'all's podcast, I was like, landing stances, I don't need to know that. Then y'all went on, I'm like, okay, I do need to know that. I just listened to it again. I understand the whole like completes and all the shorts and stuff. Now I understand that method now, but I didn't know that before. But yeah, definitely short complete is the way to land it. You can't do it without short complete.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what makes Muggleslayer.
You can. It's just really fucking hard to throw your body sideways.
It'll be against Dom. That's what I was just about to say. It'll end up going against your Dom, and it's already a counterintuitive motion. Then you don't want to make it any harder.
Because I was gonna do Lotus swing Muggleslayer, and it's literally like you land your Lotus, and then you land, and you swing, and you throw your body sideways. So it's like one's going this way, and another one's going. It just feels so wrong to like land a swing forward to you want to swing back, but then you just land and you throw sideways. It just feels wrong to do, but it's a change of Dom in a 90-degree direction usually.
Yeah, that'd be insane to see Lotus to Muggleslayer, because that
possible. It's just fucking hard, yeah.
It's just wibbly wobbly. It's like your body's just going all over the fucking place.
I want to do it, yeah. I feel like Tricking's going that way now with like the whole unwind and like the Quirk Zero stuff. It's going to like the tricks that are just like not the mainstream way.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of new experimentation with the way tricks are done. Especially with Lotus. Lotus itself has been on the rise too. There's a lot of people pushing out that. I mean, I know you and Neil. So.
Yeah, I mean,
I
Lotus
as a joke, but then like I started getting good at it, and I was like, okay, I like Lotus.
Yeah, I'm glad Lotus Saga is a thing. That's just great. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Jason?
I was just gonna say, yeah, you put Lotus at the end of like combos that I didn't even think you could put Lotus at the end of. So I mean, definitely keep grinding it out for sure. I mean,
Lotus anything.
Yeah,
Lotus was fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lotus, you actually did Lotus in your combo that you submitted to for the bounty, right?
And the thing is, like during then, I was like, okay, it'll be kind of cool to have two of the same move, but the only difference is the swing through.
Yes, exactly.
Guys, I just had a thought. What if we had a combo with the 8 swings? It'd be
I was already trying to put it together. It's so fucking hard to do like smoothly because it's like 4 seasons, but 8 seasons.
Yeah,
it really is though.
It's stupid. It's 8 seasons, and that's like 4 is already hard enough, let alone 8.
Bro, that'd be insane.
I thought about it though. That's why I'm trying to get Lotus to Muggleslayer so I can have that be like a thing.
Yeah,
but it's like I feel like there's no set. Like there's no way.
It's because you got to fit Croc in there too, and like awkward ones like A-twist.
Trampoline would be the way first. Trampoline, if anybody has like want to dedicate like a month or 2 to their life of doing that, they can go ahead and do that. But it's like I literally thought about it. Like I have all 8 swings now, just put them all together. But I'm like, oh, it's just like it's so much pitter patter. Pitter patter. That's all I feel like. It's pitter patter and wonky.
So much fucking pitter patter. Yeah, I feel that. That's insane. Also, I believe I asked you this during Vertigo, but have you landed Lotus Twists?
I did Lotus Twist and Flick Flack Twist.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And Lotus Snapu.
Oh, see, you have done. You've done Lotus Snapu and Lotus Twist.
Yeah, they're different. Lotus Kick Twist and
Lotus
Twist. Yeah.
Are you have you like uploaded the clips anywhere? Or
I have Lotus Twist on me.
I saw the Flick Flack Twist.
I have a couple Lotus Twists on me. I didn't get the Lotus Snap. That was the first time I did it at Vertigo.
Right.
Is that the first time that's ever been done? I'm almost.
Even did it in a sampler. It was like it was very like Lotus Kick Twist. Very like quick Lotus Snapu, but he did it in a sampler.
Dang.
Oh, okay.
The only one I've seen who actually fucked around with it.
That's insane. Well,
I think Mogwai's the only one who's in the Flick Flack Snapu. I think.
Oh, okay. I feel like I've seen him do that. Well, I'm excited to see Muggleslayer Twist at some point then from someone from you.
We were trying it, and it's just like the way you set up into the Muggleslayer itself, since just like that back axis.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm trying to figure out how you would twist. It's almost gonna be harder than like a It's gonna be hard in the full.
Yeah, I think part of what makes it hard is because
so weird.
You think of like regular ass rap full, right? It's powerful not because you get a lot of hype, but because you got a lot of torque. You like throw yourself to the ground and you're twisting hard as fuck, and you can still make it happen. The problem with Muggleslayer is like you can't throw yourself to the ground or go with your twist. So it's like you have to hop up, but then you lose some twist with that.
I feel like if you're good at B twist, you should be good at Muggleslayers. If you're really good at understanding the B twist acts and how to kick your back leg up, which I'm not, but if you are, then I feel like that's the gap to Muggleslayer and like dubbing it and stuff, because it's pretty much like that swing. And you can think, okay, I'm about to be on this B twist axis now, then almost.
Right.
It's just like for me, I like doing like the Lotus. I'll think more like a Lotus twist if I were just trying to twist it, but it's like even then, it's just I've tried on trampoline. It throws you off on this weird axis where you're upside down, you're just twisting, and you're landing on your head. So I'm like,
right,
it's not safe right now. I gotta do some more tests, but I'm trying to live.
It's weird. It's weird venturing into new territory. It's I don't know. I mean along the same lines. So you talked about how it was similar to like B twist, and a lot of people when we first started talking about Muggleslayer were like, "You're just talking about A twist." Like that's kind of what they were saying to us. And so like I guess my question to you is in what ways does Muggleslayer differ or is similar to A twist?
The initial shoulder positioning and takeoff, how your shoulder kind of drops in, that's the same for Muggleslayer. I'm like my shoulder blade comes up and it drops in. That feels the same. My upper body feels the same. The only difference is the landing stance. And it changes so much. That 90-degree turn from Mega to like
Absolute Mega to short complete.
Yeah, Absolute Mega
to short complete. That turn does so much and changes so much of how you take off. Like one's like, okay, I'm just going forward and twisting to it, but the other one you're almost like pulling sideways and backwards. Yeah. So it's like the way you set into it is completely different based off how you change your foot.
I mean,
and that's what's hard to combo. I feel like because you have to land short completes, but then change your whole complete momentum of the leg, and it's just like it's coming around right, but then you're twisting left opposed to going left, twist left.
Yeah.
Sense like
I'm very
visual in my head.
No, you're fine. The way I see it is it's like the same difference from like Rap Full to Rise, because that also is only a 90-degree turn.
It's literally just that 90-degree turn. Yeah. That's the only difference.
But they feel so different.
But it makes a world of difference, yeah.
So.
But if you think of anything as Rise, it's all the same then.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I mean, every trick is a Rise when you really think about it, but you know.
So Alexander said, yeah.
Or every trick is a cheat 9 if you're.
I was about to say. I heard it's a cheat 9, but.
Well, because literally at Vertigo, was it Vlad or whoever he did? It was like the cheat 9 thing for the rig games. He literally did like 5 raise rounds. I'm like, those are technically cheat 9s, I guess too. It's just a raise. I mean, he was just like raise. He was like hooking around. Like that's just a really big ass raise round opposed to cheat 9, but okay. It's just funny, like they're all the same shit, it's just the inversion, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, I think it's cool that you can like just change these little things about tricks and make into a completely different trick. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's just how all of trick theory works in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
I love it, I love talking tricks, I love just literally talking about tricks for no reason. Stupid,
bro. That's the whole reason we made this podcast.
Just to talk tricks,
just to shoot the shit about tricks.
I love this,
dude. Malik, in your post that you shared with Tricking Bounties when you first landed, or your first submission for the bounty, a lot of people were pretty hyped, and I've seen a lot of like shares on Instagram as well. And I mean, the reception for landing the trick seems to be like really positive, and that makes me really happy as like, one of the people who helped get this out there and into the real world, especially when people were thinking it was just going to be like an A-twist variation.
Yeah, but people were like, why do you want to see us swing A-twist?
Yeah, but you were showing us something, like you knew it was something different, and you showed us like exactly what it was, and people still don't even know like.
Well, y'all are just so passionate about it. I'm like, it has to be something I'm not understanding, and honestly, what it was, I didn't watch the landing sentences podcast before. I was like, why are they talking about short complete? I was like, what is? I was like, oh, I had to figure all this out because like I can only think of the A twist, but that short complete is when the mainstream triggers don't think about. It's like that Lotus, that whole side. You need that. That's the only way you can do it.
Yeah.
That's the only way. That's why people can't understand it. I'm like, dude, can you Lotus? No. There you go. There's a problem. You know?
Yeah.
It's like when I teach Gumbies, and I'm like, okay, what side do you cartwheel? If they twist left, they cartwheel left. I'm like, well, there's a problem. You gotta learn how to cartwheel right. They're like, what? I'm like, cartwheel right. That's all Gumby is. It's a cartwheel to your dark side or to my good side. It doesn't matter. It's an opposite side cartwheel based off the way you twist.
Yeah. That's actually funny because that's how I round off before I started tricking was like the right side thing, even though I'm a left side twister. So that helped.
So you're right, left. Yeah, exactly.
So I was round offing pretty much exactly like Gumby. So learning Gumby was like pretty easy for me.
Funny thing for me too. So when I first started tricking, I learned Arabian first. That's my first twist flip.
Yeah.
I twisted right first because like that felt more natural to me. I was like, I round off right, twist right. That make more sense. Now I was watching tricking. I was watching like old Guthrie shit, like him doing triple cork time period. And I was like, why are they getting excited about him twisting like so much off one foot? But whatever. He's twisting left, and I saw everybody else twisting left. So I was like, I'll change it. I learned Arabian left, and I literally just changed the whole tricking career like going left. And I was like, well, he's doing the right thing like I do, but he twists left. That movie's doing the middle. I want to learn that. I was like, that's just a cartwheel. But then be like, yo, Gumby. I'm like, I guess it's Gumby. I didn't know what Gumby was. I just saw Guthrie doing it a lot, so I learned it like that because I just saw him. I was like, me and him move the same way. I can do that, and it makes sense.
Yeah, that's so sick.
I got cork.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess getting back to the landing stances thing. So you're talking about short complete and like all that. And I guess the main reason that me and Jason came up with that way to talk about landing stances is because I think that those are very useful distinctions to make.
It makes it more accurate.
Yeah,
those are the four. Because when I explain the four to my girlfriend, I usually like complete, hyper, mega, semi, ultra, whatever. You know, I usually like explain it like that. But then I was like, okay, these other ones in between, they are very common. They're more used, I feel like, than the actual ones.
Right.
Usually, but people just don't realize.
Yeah, exactly. There's a leeway to it, and there's useful ways to distinguish it. And don't get me wrong, like, I think most of the time when you're talking to another tricker, yeah, you're just going to say hyper, or you're just going to say semi, or you're just going to say whatever the fuck you say.
There's that 90-degree in between.
Yeah, because you don't have to. Sorry, what were you going to say, Jason?
I was just going to say, there's this a useful distinction. Like, you know, it's like talking, you won't say it like in a combo, but, you know, if you're going to, like, actually break down something, it's going to, you know, more accurately describe it. And like we said, making that distinction, we're also able to see things like the eighth swing, etc. You know, and it opens possibility for things like Muggleslayer or Lotus to exist.
Yeah, it's one of those things that led us to that thing. Is like there's tricks that are done from every landing stance, except short complete only has one. That's kind of weird. Why is that the case?
That's so funny. Like it's so funny. Like I finally get it now after like landing it. I'm like, I get it. Because during the podcast, I did not understand. I was like, I gotta learn this trick. And the thing is, like, I wanted to land something first in this sport because it's like so hard to do things first in the sport. You have to add another twist, another flip, or a kick or two. And it's like
you gotta do Quinn in full out.
Quinn in full out. Yeah, with some kicks in between. It's stupid, you know, like you have to do so much now with these young kids doing it all because they have so much resources. So I just want to do something weird. And like even Dylan Barry was asking me, so how do you Muggleslayer? I'm like, it's just funny. He can quit on trampoline, but can't Muggleslayer. I'm like, you probably can. The people just don't know how to. Like, it's just so weird. You don't understand.
It's hard. Sorry, you were gonna say something, Jason? Okay. No, because me and Jason have talked about what barriers have existed to, like, why Muggleslayer has never existed yet. And, like, I find that it's interesting because, I mean, we see this all the time in tricking where as soon as one person lands a trick, everyone starts landing that trick. Like, all of a sudden, it's way easier. Like, Scott Skelton triple cork. Oh my gosh, everyone started landing triple cork. Like, Guthrie does quad cork. Okay, now, like, there's 5 or 6 people who have done quad cork. And so, like, there's always this thing in tricking where it's tricks become mentally a lot easier when you know that someone has done it and you know it's a possibility and a real thing. So,
that's how I learned it.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, getting over that, I guess, you know, you're one of those people who have gotten over that initial fear despite there being no other people who have landed it. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, how does that feel? Like, was it actually scary or, like, was it just weird to figure out?
The thing is, like, well, I landed on trampoline. If I can land on trampoline, I usually land on ground. That's how I learn things. I go trampoline, tumble track, or just go trampoline to floor, usually. So if figuring out on trampoline, I was like, if it's just that, I just need a good setup. And that's all it is with anything. That's why I'm doing standing full ends right now on trampoline. I'm like, if it's just this, from a good setup,
Yeah.
It's easy. Like, you know, trampoline's like the best tool, but people are usually like scared of trampoline. They don't know how to use it for real, but it's what helped me learn everything in Tricky.
Oh, yeah. Trampolines are cheat codes.
It literally is, Joe. It literally is. And I was like, okay, I landed on a trampoline. Like, I was going to do it from a cartwheel. Yeah, it was scary to set, but like, it's always scary to set. I'm like, I just got to make sure I can do it. But like, even when I jump, I throw it, I'm committing. I'm like, I'm not going to land this one. I usually always land, but I'm like, it doesn't feel like I'm gonna land it. It's like it's still very, very new to me. I've only done like maybe like 15 or 20.
Right.
It's still very new. But I think when I start like doing hypers or like hyper hooks or like varying it more, people are gonna be like, what is that move he's doing? I want to learn that. I just think I gotta do more with it opposed to just it. I've only posted like 2 videos or like 1 video on it, so it's not even that like. Right. No, there's not a lot of videos of it for real still.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm pretty sure yours.
I still got send that.
And I'm pretty sure you're the only one who actually has a video of it in its like, you know, actuality. I mean, people had like obviously attempted the bounty, but you've got the most like, you know, solid one out there, and the only one as far as I'm aware.
And it was so funny when Dylan Berry told me, he was like, I explained how to do it. He came back to me, and was like, yo, I did Muggleslayer on trampoline. And he was like, never mind, I did Lotus. I was like, well, you learned Lotus at least.
Yeah.
You know, so funny, he thought he did. He's like, I did. I'm like, okay, it was just Lotus though. But like, it's the same thing, but backwards. He's like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, even when you understand, it's like, that feels so wrong to throw. I'm like, so? Croc feels wrong to throw. People throw it like, tricks are just tricks. Like, tricks are all just tricks, yo.
Exactly. You just gotta do them. I don't know. This is the future of tricks, in my opinion. We're just opening up new base tricks so that people can add on to it. Like, you know, I really want to see more Crocs. I really want to see more Muggleslayers, more Lotuses that have been varied, that have things added to them. So that's why I think, personally, Muggleslayer is, like, super exciting. You know what I mean?
I did a swing seminar at Vertigo, and I tried to tell the people I was teaching about all 8 swings. I kind of get a short explanation, but I'm just trying to like ground it. So then people will be like later on in life, like, hey, Malik was actually telling me about that a long time ago. It's like one of those things like, damn. Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to get it out there early. Like, you know, there's 8 more things. There's 8 swings you can do, not just the 1, 2. Yeah. Because I was like, front swing and back swing, the main 2 I feel like people know. Front swing and back swing.
Right.
All the 6 other ones don't very rarely get used, Joe.
Yeah.
You're
like,
so
I should do it.
And some of them do get like kind of used. Like rap gets a little used.
Yeah, I was gonna say I should do a tier list of all the swings with like what gets used the most. Like it's so easy. There's so like me that are basic, and then all the ones down here just don't ever get used. And like let's make it all even. You know, let's even it out.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that you were like trying to get it out there. Like, you know, that's how Frank and I are with the whole podcast. We're like, okay. The tricking community probably isn't going to accept this right now, but we have to put this concept out there because otherwise, like, someone else is going to do it, and you know, won't be able to do it as much justice as we've done it, or whatever. You know?
Yeah. Also, I think like even if just one person gets it, like that's kind of all that's necessary, as is obvious with Malik. Like, you know what I mean? Is like. It's not like the whole tricking community had to understand what we were saying. It's just Malik understood what we were saying, and probably a few other people.
Yeah, and it's great because it's like a demonstration and like justification of like, you know, our theory or framework, you know. Yeah. So the slight flex, you know. No.
But for me, I'm all visual. I would have not landed if that one dude had landed the version on trampoline. We're like, y'all, this is like y'all. This is it. I watched it. I was like. That's weird. I was like, that is weird. I was like, that's very weird. I was like, okay, but this is it. I was like, it made sense in my head.
Yeah.
And I flipped it around and made it my side. I'm like, okay, yeah.
I would say that's the biggest downside that we've acknowledged about our podcast is like because we're an auditory medium, we don't, and tricking is such a visual thing. Like, I mean, obviously we lack that, but you know. I
feel like if people can like talk tricks though, that almost requires more, so then they can understand tricks easier opposed to just seeing it. Like even me, like I listened to the podcast, I understood tricking. I'm like, well, seasoned tricker, but I was like, this move, I was like, I need to see this. I was like, I was like, it's not A-twist, but like, I literally imagine like a B-twist plus A-twist, but then I was like, how does it flip more? I was literally trying to make that happen, and literally the short complete makes that happen. But I literally just couldn't figure that out in my mind. I was like, how do you make it flip? Like, and that was so odd, but like something like that, you need to understand. Like, okay, so you have an A twist here, and then you have a B twist or like a Muggleslayer there, and have them side by side, and just so they can see it's similar. But then like the flip happens, like one twist, one rolls, one flips, and people be like, whoa,
right?
But technically, it's the same amount of, you know, it's like a full makes our back inversion makes a full or double easier because that to me is a rotation kind of.
Right.
It's the same thing with Muggleslayer.
Right.
Like the flip made it easier.
Yeah.
And less twist technically, but it is the same amount of twists. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can beat twist, you can already Muggleslayer. It's just stupid,
Right.
Yeah, we talk about how like more flip like reduces the need for like actual twists, and with examples
so
like
apparent.
B kick with things like B kick and aerial. So and then the same thing applies on the other side. It's just mirrored, and you have to like figure out how that mirror works to like apply it to that takeoff or whatever.
I want to like mathematically prove that one day. That like the more you invert, the less you have to twist, and vice versa. Like I need something to explain this because it doesn't make intuitive sense.
Some hard evidence, some hard mathematical proof.
Yeah, I need Bryce on this shit.
Yeah,
like it's weird. Like B twist is a one twist and Muggleslayer is a quarter.
Yeah, exactly. That
is the flip.
That doesn't. It also. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Jason?
No, I was just saying it's the flip. It's the flip that
like the
makes
quarter.
it.
The flip takes away a whole 3/4. Like what?
Yeah. Same thing with B twist and A twist, because B twist is a full twist. A twist is
half.
3/4 and a half, or a half.
Or it's like a half. If you go over the top, you're just a half.
Yeah. So I think it depends on how you take off, but yeah, it's basically that.
Yeah.
So
it's a whole math thing in there that I'm like not ready to get into now, but I do see it. I'm like I see the numbers then.
Oh man,
there's
the zeros and ones.
It's once you start getting a glimpse at it, you can't unsee it, and then you start to recognize all these crazy patterns that are in tricking.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I have one more final question about Muggleslayer for you, and that is, what is your advice to someone who wants to do it? Like, what's your best advice?
It's me. I'm asking. Frank's asking for me.
Here's a quick Muggleslayer tutorial. If you want to learn Muggleslayer, I would say be really good at a side flip, like where you take off sideways and you land a quarter turn. D legs help. Having a double leg. Not like full D leg, but running just double leg because it takes off in the same position but unified.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
it does take off the same position. Sorry, Jason was just.
Yeah, and then so then you have that D leg. Be able to like maybe alien as well. Where it's like that cheat tuck thing. Yeah.
It's basically a D leg but tucked, right?
Anything that keeps you over like that same rolling motion over the side. So then from there, Lotus is the biggest step. That's like if you can understand how to swing in front, because that's how you usually backswing, get the most power. It's that side kind of front swing. Learn that power takeoff because your arms are gonna do the same thing for Muggleslayer. And they literally just do, I would say dark side cartwheel's the easiest. That's what I've been doing it from, but I think it has the most time, and like the way your arms come out, it literally makes a circle. And then you kind of loop back up. So you literally just dark side cart, loop around, and then just turn your head and just think Lotus, but swing behind you and just commit. The way you land on trampoline, I would say opposite J step, dark side J step, short complete, Muggleslayer is the easiest way to do it on trampoline. And you can even like think dark side short complete, Muggleslayer to your back, bounce to your feet. That's what I did a lot. Just kind of like do it slow and just commit to it. It's gonna feel weird. The flip's not gonna feel right, but commit to it. Do a few, and then you'll land it, and then you'll be like, okay. It's just a weird. It's a weird swing. Right. When you first did quirks, the quirk wasn't efficient. My first quirks, I didn't use my leg at all. Yeah. I know, like my first Muggleslayers, I'm probably not using the most efficient technique, but like it's there.
Yeah.
Right. No, exactly. You gotta, just practice it and refine it, and then you're gonna have, just a much better.
Yeah.
It's not that hard at all. I'm gonna try like after the whole tour thing, get some videos out of it and like some variations, and just show a Muggleslayer example probably. So then people can just see it and be like, okay, there's all these things that you can do with it. It's a trick. That's gonna make it happen.
That's so sick.
And then somebody's gonna do it better than me, and then dub it. I'm like,
well, it's fine because you're the first one to do it, so fuck them.
It doesn't matter. Oh yeah.
You also got paid for it, so
I'm going to literally share every Muggleslayer video that you make, Malik, because
there's
you're
gonna
doing
be a
the
lot.
Lord's work.
There's gonna be a lot. Like I remember doing it behind the scenes. Just like I'm on tour and I need to sleep and sleep so much. Tour and it's just...
Right.
But
yeah.
After tour, a lot of examplers.
Sweet. I'm excited for that.
All right, Malik. So one thing that I noticed too about like the Muggleslayer post is that like you got a ton of likes, a ton of shares. People were really just like amazed by what you did and curious about the trick. Yeah, I mean,
So,
just go ahead, tell me about it.
So yeah, the interactions and shit. Likes, it got 2,400 likes. Shares, 426 shares.
Shares?
That's a lot for me.
No,
shares,
that's a lot.
Saves.
Yeah.
Saved. People who saved it. 406 people saved it.
Damn.
Wow.
And then 50
some
people
studious ass
commented,
bitches.
but no, people were like, yo, I gotta save it. I gotta share this. People were just trying to get it out. And so I was like, why is this post doing so that it's such a not even the best one. Not even the best one. It's the first one, but not even the best one.
Right.
Yeah.
But it does look like it's weird looking.
Yeah. It is very weird looking. I agree. I could not be more happier with the aesthetic of Muggleslayer. Because like I said, I wasn't sure if it was going to look good. I thought it was going to look like shit,
I was like, I'm going to try to make it look easy. I'm going to try to make it look good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I try to do with all
You
my tricks.
definitely made it look how it's supposed to look, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do with everything.
Yeah. and I would say Chris Brady honestly gave me a lot of hope with Muggleslayer.
Yeah, I was watching his video of the quirking back and I was like, okay, that looks dangerous to try like that, but there has to be an easier way to try so I don't break my neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
No.
He was going for it.
Dude, Chris Brady
he was doing standing pretty much.
That's
he was
Scotsman.
sending it.
Yeah, no, that man has balls of steel. It's kind of insane. But yeah, that I don't know. I'm just so happy you land Muggleslayer and that it's out there and that people are enjoying it and are hopefully going to start doing it. So
yeah,
that's all I want for tricking is just to see.
I did a shitty Muggleslayer round. So that
yes,
kind of out there.
yes.
It's kind of out there. It's Vanish can happen soon as well.
I was gonna say if you can Muggleslayer around, that means you could swing from it too. So,
I was literally just about to suggest to swing.
It's
I'll lose my mind if you did Muggleslayer swing gainer, or even just swing gainer.
Muggleslayer swing Lotus.
That's right.
That will almost make more sense. Almost, I feel like, because the way it comes out, I'm here, so then I could just kind of just chuck it back the other way.
That would be like.
It'll almost be like. Or no, Carson brought up a really good idea. I talked to Carson about Muggleslayer. Another way you could do it to where it's not your dark side momentum, misleg Muggleslayer. That's the way to do it. You gotta make it to where it's not a beach, but if you take off from if you do dice, scoot or something there, and then you just land, have your leg out, then you just, instead of thinking miss leg forward, you miss behind yourself. That'll be the Muggleslayer. It'll take off to the right. It'll feel so wrong, but if you commit, I think it's possible.
That sounds
scoot missing Muggleslayer is very possible.
Dang.
Yeah, I was theorizing that you would want a slow setup scoot to get.
I was trying to figure out because people are doing it from the court, but I'm like, you can't swing like a court. You gotta swing and just check the other way. So missing it is definitely the way to do it. I think from your actual dom and twisting momentum. Mm-hmm. And if you can figure out that, then you can do anything. It'll be miss double B or any miss hard thing. It's just miss swing.
You know what I set up? What I think would be cool is vanish into Muggleslayer. I feel like that could actually look. It's almost like a reverse tack because let's think about this for a second. Tack is just wrap full. You just vanished into it, right? So vanishing into a Muggleslayer, you'd have to land right left. But
yeah, I was trying to figure that out.
You would have to land semi and then stuff. I think that would actually be a really unique setup, and it would be really cool to see. But
Malik's currently doing it for us on the camera.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I know.
That's gonna be the glute. Ooh, all that activation. That's just gonna be.
Yeah.
Some massive glute activation.
I'll work on Vanish Muggleslayer. I'll work on that one.
Yes.
Vanish Muggleslayer. I think that's the way.
Be on the lookout. You heard it here first. Talking tricks. Vanish Muggleslayer inbound.
And now imagine maybe this is way in the future, but dub, but the setup is Muggleslayer. Muggleslayer swing dub or double Muggleslayer swing dub. You know. That's,
or double Muggleslayer swing dub.
If you can pivot dub, you can Muggleslayer probably dub swing dub. It's just that's gonna be stupid.
Stupid hard. But
I think you're gonna be another one we're theorizing was coin drop to Muggleslayer or Muggleslayer to coin drop.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But I think coin drop to Muggleslayer would be cooler. You coin drop and the coin drop you Muggleslayer. So it's one's on the ground and one's in the air.
Yeah, that would be really fresh.
No, it'll almost be like the
We're recording right now.
I feel like Cartwheel versus Aerial. coin drop like a Muggleslayer, but even like the coin drop is on your back still, but like the ground to like aerial version of it.
Right. Well, yeah. So I mean, we've spent a good amount of time on Muggleslayer, but there's other things we wanted to talk to you about, Malik.
There's so much you can do with Muggleslayer.
There really is, because I mean, it's a whole
everything you can do with Muggleslayer.
Everything you can do with any other trick,
like,
you can do.
I haven't had any time to play with it because I'm on tour. I haven't had any time to play. I'm trying to do other things, but like I still do it. Like I had to do it in a battle. I had to do Muggleslayer stick to beat to W.
That's oh my god, that's insane.
Wow.
I love that.
What do you think about Hyper Muggleslayer to double B twist, Malik?
I haven't done Hyper yet because my right knee is still weak. When my right knee feels stronger, I'll do Hyper because that'll be the way to like think like GMS it, and because the swing works more natural with Hyper. So it'll probably be really, for some reason, a really powerful GMS setup. Like Muggleslayer Hyper to GMS twist or something like. It can work really well, or like even Croc if you want to. Muggleslayer swing Croc.
Muggleslayer swing Croc. That's insane. On your right, like that's just a clash of two just like underdone as fuck tricks. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like
Crocs.
Yeah, they are two Croc type tricks.
It will work so well though, because like Quirks work really well, and Rat Full swing Quirk works. So just do the opposite. Muggleslayer swing Croc. It will work the same way. That swing, like Jordan's done swing Croc on trampoline. So
he does stupid shit on trampoline. It's actually amazing. Like
it's crazy.
We actually did a micro dissects on him because like it's just I literally see his combos and I'm like, this is what tricking is gonna look like. It's gonna look wild as fuck, and this is gonna be on
way
floor.
ahead of the game. Way ahead of the game.
His transitions just don't make any sense. But anyway, I also wanted to ask you because you have a series on YouTube called Textbook Tricks.
Yes.
And this is where you look at an example of a trick, or you take this tricker who has done a trick in the most textbook way, and you label it as textbook. And I kind of have always gravitated to your definition of textbook. I think that's a cool idea because I like... tricks have a lot of leeway in how they can present. You know what I mean? Is like a quirk can present in a lot of different ways, but there is like a textbook. There's like almost a platonic ideal of a quirk of what that looks like, and it looks exactly like this, and your leg goes up like this or whatever the fuck, and that's like a textbook trick. And so like I just want to know to you what your definition of like a textbook trick is.
Textbook tricks are tricks that look efficient. The person looks like they're not trying. They're landing really controlled and easily, and it's the most optimal way of doing it to like do something into it or out of it. I feel like that's a textbook trick. Like they're like, oh, he could have done something out of that. He could have done something into that. It's like that's textbook to me.
It's just easy as fuck. It's just
like, it's like that's the way you need to do it too. Because it shouldn't be hard.
Yeah,
tricks shouldn't be hard. So like to me, like when somebody does a trick, I'm like that looked really easy. It was really easy because it's textbook to them. Like that's how you're supposed to do the actual trick.
Right. Exactly.
There's probably better ways, just like in a perfect world, but we're not perfect people. But in this world, that's the best way. That's like this is the best example of it. No one's done a better example of this. Like this is the best example I feel. Yeah. It's
the closest it gets to like the perfect form of a trick, because obviously that is some kind of ethereal concept.
And it's like there's obviously like variations like of like axes and shit and like things be between that, but like this is like I gotta do it in a series on textbook. Let's make good tricks in here.
You do.
Yes. One thing that like so maybe controversial opinion, because I agree that like I think that you're right about your definition of textbook tricks. But one thing that like I've noticed is like people like who are very skilled, like Mike, will do like a textbook. They'll try to do like a textbook trick, like they'll demonstrate like their cheat 9 or whatever, but like they'll have their own personal style, like kind of like bias it, where they'll like rechamber their leg in like a certain way, and like I don't know. Sometimes I'm like these aesthetic flourishes that people will add on to make the trick look like, oh, this is how it is, like extend, kick and then rechange, like sometimes I'm like
I feel like as far as that, I'm like, because kicks are very like controversial and like very opinionated. Do you point your toes? Do you not point your toes? I saw Sam Lincoln point his toes for the first time on a jackknife. It was for a challenge, and he can do it. It's just he doesn't want to. It's like it's all aesthetics. It's all aesthetics. It's like I feel like again, efficiency wise, depends on what you want to do with it. If you just want to do that trick, do it how you want to do it, as long as it meets the criteria of what the trick should look like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I feel like for like if you want to do a swing from it, or if you want to do like just vary it, or if you want to do like this with it, there's a textbook way for all those things.
Yeah.
Like you can't do a cork, like you can't do like a triple cork the same way you do like two cork, like a cork swing, like a cork swing cork. You can't have them both be low and do a triple cork.
Yeah.
Unless you twist it, you have to like go up a little bit. You know, you have to do an efficient way. So there's a textbook way to do everything. It's like yeah, you can do like the dragon knife where it's like point and reach chamber, but then do drop your head, do lift your head up. You know,
Yeah.
it's like all these other things. You know, your arms here.
Yeah.
Or do just like whatever, you know, so 3 things you can do to make it your own. But as like I'll be like textbooks like a round kick, a hook kick. That's textbook.
Yeah, exactly. By
like
definition. Yeah.
You know,
Right.
if it's that, then it's good. If it's not, then I don't know. Work on it.
And to like build off of what you're saying, I think that there really isn't just one textbook cork, for example. Like there's a lot of, it depends on the scenario. It depends, like you were saying, like I'm going to treat my cork a lot differently if I'm swinging a dub out of it versus if I'm trying to dub the cork that I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's varying degrees of, and it's situational, right? But regardless, like to me, when I hear textbook, I'm like, this is like when I see a textbook cork, for example, just a single cork, I'm like, every other cork that I see is based off of this cork. It's just a variation of this cork. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's just
exactly
some kind
that, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like this is the trick. Everything else is based off of that. Like, but that's the main foundation. It's the foundation of it. It should match the foundation.
Yeah. So
the basics then is not gonna like anything else. It won't work. It won't.
Yeah, I think you picked the right word with textbook too, because so being in medicine, I'm in medical school, and we learn a lot about like how diseases will present in a patient, like what symptoms they have, whatever they'll have, and usually what we learn in the classroom is very, as you would say, textbook, and we would say textbook as well. Like that's exactly how they present, but in the real world, it's usually kind of messy. It almost never is exactly like the textbook. Very rarely.
You have an outline, and then you kind of go off the outline because there's always variation. But there's a main thing. Yeah. Exactly.
It's very rarely off of the textbook. But when it is, like when you do have a patient that presents with these 5 symptoms all at once, and like their history aligns with what it might be, then it's like that's your golden patient. It's like you just know.
It's instantly. Very easy. You're like, yes, okay. I never thought I would see this, but
yeah, very easy to identify when it's a textbook case in the case of both, in the context of both medicine and.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know. I just like that parallel because I thought it was just cool. But
it all connects. It all connects.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, sorry.
Well, like, just talking about your series, like, I mean, how are you able to make such consistent content? I mean, I know lately you haven't been because you've been on the tour, but like, you know, that's something that I admire a lot about you is that you'll record sessions, you'll upload them to YouTube, you know, and like, or you'll do like live streams or whatever. I try doing live streams. I get like 1 or 2 viewers, and then I'm like, "This is awful." Never do it again.
And the thing is, like, it's like getting yourself out there. I'm like, if I want to kind of be known more, I'm like doing it for more so like for myself. Like, I was to the point where I first started doing like with my camera and stuff on YouTube. I was like, okay, I got a camera. I was gonna give me as many videos out as I can to like show people. And I was like, am I doing it for them or am I doing it for I didn't really have a reason why I was doing it. And then I found the reason for like doing it for like myself, like recently, like, I was learning to like love watching my tricks, learn to watch myself progress, and just learn to watch myself live my life and get that out there. And then just hearing other people say they enjoy it, that's kind of cool because I'm literally just sitting in my room. I'm like, I watch samples all the time, but I'm like, I could just record me doing it and see if people like that. And people are like, oh, I love this. I'm like, I do this all the time by myself. I'm literally just saying, oh, like doing the same reactions, but I'm just alone. So it's kind of cool to have like a little community to like kind of share that with.
Yeah.
And connect with. So that kind of pushed me, but like to get out consistently, I had to find the workflow. I did a lot of research on like how to edit fast, how to like edit efficiently. I'm all about efficiency and doing things the best. I have like 3 monitors, so like I have my whole setup to where I have things I need to do, and like I have a whole organized system of how to do things. Even when I post Instagram or YouTube videos, like a whole format and process that like I know when I'm done. I know when I start. I know where I'm at in the process. I know when I'm done.
Mm.
It's like there's no like lead, so I can just get a video out like in the time. It's like okay, if I'm really determined, I'll do it like quick. It's just like being that consistent is hard to do. It's just I don't know. You have to have the motivation definitely, but I'm really motivated after the tour, especially because just again, so many accolades of just like, yo, you're doing great things. It's like I didn't really see it, but now I'm like, okay, well, I just gotta keep doing more. And if people want to see
people
that,
clearly
I got
like
so
it.
much,
You know?
I got so much content. I'll just put it out and see what people say about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
it could go good or bad, but at least I'm enjoying making it for myself and like actually having fun. And I can look at the videos and be like, I like watching this, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would say that's pretty similar to how me and Jason.
Do it for yourself.
Sorry.
Do it for yourself. If you have fun doing it, do it for yourself, and it's easier.
Yeah.
It's not even work.
I would say that's pretty similar to how me and Jason started, because we were just like, I mean, we like talking about tricks, so why not just record ourselves and do it?
I love this. I
and
love
stuff like
it,
that.
yo.
Yeah, and we just, I mean, same thing how you were saying that. It's just like, I just watch samplers anyway. Might as well record myself.
I talk about this
like
to people
that.
at sessions, so why not make a video and just talk about my own thoughts and how I'm thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's really
I
it.
feel like that's what's missed from trickers. Like I'll try to learn from trickers and see how they actually think about tricks and stuff. But people would be like, "Oh, I'm just very, I just go up." They'll say the basic shit. I'm like, how do you really like think about this? How do you actually see everything? And I want to show like how my mind actually kind of works and why like I appreciate the things I do and like why I say the things I do and like I don't know why this is cool, why this is amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think sharing the more like intimate like thought processes behind tricking and how people approach tricking, like I think we all just need to talk more tricks.
Because like
really,
the sports, like you see the good people, and you're like, damn, they're so good. I'll never be like that. But you gotta understand there's a whole process and like how everybody thinks and how they got to that point. And like we were all at the one point where we all sucked. We all didn't understand how to do a full or a backflip. And we were like, after we got it, we started getting better. It's just like there's still like learning curves and everything. And like I feel like the more you can share and then be like, oh, I do relate to that guy. I do relate to that. And like you can see that you're not alone. It's like you're on the right path because this sport's so like hard, but it's easy. Like it's just you have to understand a lot.
It is hard and easy. You're so right about that.
It is both hard and easy at the same time. It's a beautiful dichotomy of tricking.
I teach tricks and it's so hard to explain, but after the kid gets it, it's easy. They're doing it easy. I'm like, yeah, okay,
it feels like walking.
Yeah, exactly. Like so many people like explain the game switches to. They literally like so it's been a walking concept. And they're like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, it's literally just that. So like it is walking. Like game switch is literally walking. It's literally walking with a backflip. But it's like breaking down things, make it simpler in your head is easy, but learning it is hard to do. I do understand.
It is definitely a process that I mean it just requires a lot of time and practice.
Yeah, this kid was trying to learn 540 today, and he had a tornado kick, but he looked just like me. Like when you do a tornado, and you kind of land both legs, and you're really trying to hyper, but he's like I don't understand how to because he doesn't have that of a hyper yet. He doesn't understand how to swipe because he's a gymnast. He doesn't understand that motion of how to use your body to actually hyper. But as soon as he gets it, he's not gonna lose it. It's just like it's like it's 540 it was so hard for me to learn 540. But after I got it, it never left.
Nice.
But I remember my first 540. I was like, I did it. And it's like it made sense.
Nice.
Finally, it's like that moment. It's like, whoa, it makes sense. It's always a good feeling,
Yeah, I agree, and I definitely relate to that because I think I had that exact realization today. Like I was just at the trampoline park, and like I've been injured for the past 6 or 7 months. So I haven't really been able to trick like a crazy amount. But I was in the trampoline park, and I was just doing gainer switch triple cork, and I'm like, holy shit, like I literally haven't done this in so long, and I can still do this. Like it's
time off does a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy. It still feels like walking. It still feels like fun and easy to do, and like I'm excited to really get back completely into tricking. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. It's stuff like this really gets me hyped, and it gets me hyped to do more talking tricks episodes and motivate me to make more content because sometimes it is hard to do. Sometimes it is like, especially if you have a lot of life getting in the way, you know what I mean? It's like you have a lot of shit you're doing.
And I feel like with like tricks, like it's a mindset too. Like even with like how much life is going on, your mindset of tricks you can still learn no matter what you're doing. Like I'm at work, but I'm still thinking about like, okay, this trick, and I'm teaching things. I'm like, okay, it's kind of like this, and then like I'm always learning and bringing down. It's almost like there's a room in my head that I'm just constantly training in.
Yeah.
When I do tricks in real life, I'm like, yeah, it's just doing it in my head, and I just do it. I'm like, yeah, I feel like that in my head. So it's like I feel like just understanding tricks like that is the best way, and it's like a mindset of just knowing tricks are easy and just breaking it down up here and understanding it in that little headspace, and then just doing it. Like tricks shouldn't be hard, and I've recently been on that mindset the past 2 months, and it's been the best thing in my life. And I don't know,
nice.
It made tricks like make hard tricks like be like seem like somewhat doable.
Yeah. No, I relate to that. When I first started tricking, that was like all I did was just constantly imagine tricks and how to do them, and that helped tremendously. Like just the mental game of it, because like tricking really is a lot of a mental game. Like I don't even think you need a crazy amount of physical ability. Like
You don't.
like yeah, like even like I said, I was injured this past like few months, and don't get me wrong, like I still stayed in shape. I still went to the gym, but I wasn't an optimal tricking body build because like I had not tricked in a while. Because the best way to get a tricking build is to trick.
Exactly.
But I was still able to do a lot of these things just from technique, just from memory, just from the mental game of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I completely agree with that. But yeah, I mean, unless you guys want to add something else before we close off, we're about reaching an hour. So yeah, I mean, we talked about a lot of random shit.
Quite a bit of stuff, yeah. A lot of Muggleslayer stuff. Malik, thanks again, dude, and congratulations.
No problem.
That is a prize well
just
earned.
the beginning, yo.
It is.
Just the beginning. Yep. And I'll be on the lookout. I'm gonna not learn this trick. So.
Yeah. Honestly, I really can't stress enough how grateful we are that you did it, because like it's just so cool to see.
I'll do a whole tutorial, on my YouTube,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's just so cool to see like a dream of ours come to fruition. Like, you know what I mean? So
that's all I wanted to do. I was like, I want to see this, and I was like, I can't see it, so I'm gonna do it, so I can see it myself. Then I can always see it.
There you go.
That's right.
I was like, I was just so upset. I was like, I can't imagine this trick in my head. I was so upset. Like, I can usually imagine everything. I'm like, what the fuck is this trick?
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. People were doing it. Like, I was waiting. Like, all the videos you were posting. People like trying. I'm like, that's not it. I was like, that's not it. That's just a court. That's not it. I'm like, that's like that can't be. I'm like, that's way too fucking hard. It's like, no fucking way. And I saw the video posted. I'm like, that's it. That's definitely it. I was like, okay, bet, easy. I was just waiting. Like, I'm not gonna try this shit and like do what they were doing, break my fucking neck and try something. Like, no, fuck that shit. I'm old. I'm like, I'm doing this shit the way possible. I'm like, I'm gonna wait till somebody does it. Okay, that's it. You gotta do it on the floor. Bet, easy.
Yeah, that's funny as fuck. I love that.
Just congrats again, dude. We're just so happy to have it done.
Yeah, and thank you for being on our show. And then
I'm so glad to be here. It's like I heard that you do the intro and I was like, whoa, it's happening. It's kind of like surreal almost. But hell yeah,
guys! I'm so glad you hold this.
We'll definitely have to set it up again, Malik. You're a treat
I got
to
more
talk
to talk
to.
about. After tour, I'll be way more mentally headspace and ready to talk about so many more things.
Absolutely. So maybe we could talk some trick theory at some point, because I know you definitely
bring on an episode just to like talk randomly, to have a topic and be like, hey, I wanted to be on this topic.
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go.
I'll just talk.
All right. Well, thank you for being on. So as always, thank you to Stephen French for making our logo.
Alex Hunter for being the logo.
And Stephen Rogers for making the intro song. Thank you guys so much. And we'll catch you guys later.